Is it possible to go into a tournament and not have the proper materials except for what you have? Most times, yes. Is it possible to just go to the convention not knowing that you have to be at least 10 to 12 minutes early to get there and set up? That would be wise. Usually, that's not what happens. Or is it possible to just buy from the concession stand and just look for food down the road when everything's said and done? Usually, I recommend that you search ahead of time. But then again, situations occur, and most people that have not seen a large convention in their life, or this is their first time being a competitive event, whether it's for Magic the Gathering, whether it's for Pokemon, Yu Gi Oh!, Flesh and Blood, all these questions keep getting answered. And the great thing is that people like myself, who's a judge, a referee, will always try to help you out. But with that being said, here are four things to remember when going into any convention for competitive play, or if this is your first time and you want to experience it. Number one, timing is of the essence. And I'm talking about basically being on time because one, if you're on time for a major tournament, it just also makes sense in multiple ways. For instance, being on time means that the people around you and the tournament can start at an earlier time than normal and possibly end at a reasonable time. We are not there to make sure it lasts until midnight, per se, but if it has to, it has to. But as much as possible, we try our best to make sure that the tournament doesn't go too long because most times we want to make sure that one, everyone gets back to their hotel or their place that they're staying at to be back at the tournament site at a reasonable pace and not exhausted. Tournaments can exhaust people so fast that most times they have to sit down and recharge after so long for playing, and it really depends on the person. And usually that's where we bring number two in the mix, and that's food, water, and vendors. Knowing that there's food and water at the location is good. But if you're in a new place, I always recommend to those people locations that personally I have seen that is nearby because most times they have food restrictions or there's food allergies and they can't have certain foods here or there. And it's always good to have that option ready to go. But at the same time, it's also good to make sure if you can help it to bring supplies over in a backpack or in a bag just in case you have the need to have that. Because I have seen many players, they can't even get the opportunity to go out of the area to even get one of their favorite foods because they're in a competition for so long, or they had to stay longer in the round because that's how long it took. Which leads to the next thing, which is number three, understand the location as a whole of the area. And what I mean by this is that knowing the location of the tournament leads to better understanding on what you need to do if something happens. Like, for instance, the vendors are usually nearby, and your sleeves got destroyed because it was time for it to go, type of thing, and you just need to buy sleeves from them, as an example, to save you from that type of atrocity, or basically a card got damaged, you need to replace it. Here you go. The vendors are there to help you as best as possible. And which leads to number four. Always ask questions to the referee or the judges. We're there to help you in best case scenario, but also at the same time, that's our purpose there is to make sure everyone has a good time in the area because we have a passion for helping out doing those conventions. And doing stuff like this, videos to help you guys out, will only prepare you for the basics in case of something happens. And with that being said, if you like videos like this, please click the link in the bottom and subscribe to the channel for more to come. I'm Edward Copalongan from the High Table of Magic. Until next time, may the magic be with you and never die.